All right, welcome back, free radicals, Tulsi-crats, Bernie people. Bernie people, I got a couple of bones to pick with you, but we'll do that in the video. Who else? Green Party people, stray libertarian, whoever you are, people who are unaffiliated, people who are fed up. I'm Dave. This is the Radical Independent. Okay, so I got to talk about this because it's just everywhere. Impeaching Donald Trump. Apparently, Tulsi Gabbard is the only person running for president right now in both parties, because you do have Bill Weld and Joe Walsh out there who certainly would like to see Donald Trump impeached. Everybody else in the Democratic team, other than Tulsi Gabbard, believes Donald Trump ought to be impeached. So, if you are one of those people who believe Trump should be impeached, then here's the thing. You impeach Donald Trump on the evidence, which there is none, that he committed a crime which they went 2 years plus investigating. They couldn't find anything. And Mueller looked like a complete befuddled old man at the end of the investigation, where he couldn't answer questions about his own investigation. If you want to impeach Donald Trump based on that, then you have lowered the bar on impeachment, and it will become a retaliation tool every single time a president gets elected that a bunch of people don't like. All right? You're impeaching Donald Trump on the fact that he won the presidency, the fact that there are people that still believe to this day that Vladimir Putin got him elected. I mean, I could go on and on. And now Tulsi Gabbard is getting grief from the likes of billionaire hedge fund manager Tom Steyer, okay, who is now going to be at the first debate, or his first debate. And he'll be on stage with Tulsi Gabbard. So, by the way, for Team Tulsi, I would go buzzsaw right in. At Steyer, at Warren, you got nothing to lose. This could be your only shot to just take these people apart. I don't care what they throw at you as a question. They'll throw Assad questions at you because they don't want you there. And you just turn it around and go, yeah, and this is the same group of people that investigated Trump for 2 years and are going to waste millions of taxpayer dollars trying to get him out of office. Again, the logic of this doesn't make sense. Even if you're a tribalist, think it through. Mike Pence is your end game. Mike Pence. Okay? For you LGBT folks, does Mike Pence make you feel all welcome and warm and fuzzy? No. Okay? And for you people that are against endless war, Mike Pence is John Bolton with a different haircut. Okay? He will green light every single military op that they can come up with. And you're gonna get rid of Trump because you don't like his personality, you don't like the bombast, you don't like the tweeting, whatever it is. You don't like the fact that Trump is orange. Great. Okay? Now, if you come forward and say to me, hey, Dave, we got Trump on his family connections with his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. That's where you need to go if you're going to do this. We got him because he lobbed missiles into Syria without congressional approval. He tried to stage a coup in Venezuela. You come back to me with those things, and by the way, the tribalists won't do that because that's their game, okay? Because they want to do that crap too. They want to be able to run the country and run the war machine, okay? And if they go after Trump on that stuff, then they can't do it later. Because somebody like a Tulsi Gabbard, like somebody who actually obeys and looks at the Constitution and says, yes, you can't do this, somebody will come along and say, hey, wait a minute, we just did this to Trump, and now you guys are doing it, so you guys need to be impeached. And again, you lower the bar for impeachment where it just becomes a retaliation tool. Now, if you look back at the last two attempts, Nixon resigned, so, he would have been impeached if he didn't resign, most likely, okay? I don't know. I don't know what the makeup of Congress was, but Nixon saw the writing on the wall and just walked away smartly. Bill Clinton was impeached but wasn't convicted. A lot of people don't remember that. Bill Clinton was impeached, but he stayed. He served his 2 terms because they couldn't get a conviction in the Senate. If you go through all of this and you can't get a conviction in the Senate, all right, now I've been hearing rumblings, Nancy Pelosi, she's going to go around and lobby Republican senators to do this. She might bring Tom Steyer, and Tom Steyer will hand out $1,000 bills. Here, because he's got the money. And you might see a few switch over because they might see the political wind shifting. And if the political wind shifts enough, our country goes into chaos. Because the next time around, whoever's the opposition party, they're going to run to a microphone. They're going to say, you know what? We don't like Elizabeth Warren as president. She's dividing the country. She has no ideas, really, to bring this country out of the doom and gloom and the constant malaise, use a Jimmy Carter phrase, that we're in. I'm just being hypothetical here, just a couple of years down the road, or maybe even less than that. We believe that she should be impeached, and they'll find something. And we've lowered the bar, we've lowered the standard, and we've created now a climate or an atmosphere in the country where people are going to walk around and say, we are a joke as a country. We are a joke. You had an opportunity, by the way, with a Tulsi Gabbard, and she's still around, and it could still happen, where you get a unifying candidate who brings the country together, both the left and the right. Again, somebody said this on Twitter, and it was very smart. The president needs to be able to represent both wings, meaning that he needs to be able to work with the left wing and the right wing, and that way the bird can actually fly. Because you get that analogy, or one wing. And I'm not saying that conservatives have good ideas. They have no ideas. It's actually the real progressives that have some ideas that would help working people, help the regular person. But you've got to be able to serve everybody in the country. And if there's inequality and that bird is tilting one way or another, you need to be able to level things out a little bit. That's why Bernie will come up with a phrase like, leveling the playing field and so forth. By the way, I'm worried that Bernie Sanders is a neocon. First time I've ever said that in a video. I'm worried that he is a neocon. And the reason I say that is because he gets up there and says we need to impeach, and these are the same kind of things a neocon or a neo-lib would say, and he's in that club. He may be against endless wars in the military-industrial complex, but my guess is he gets in there, he talks tough during the campaign, and then just softens up, folds like a cheap suit at the end of it. And I don't see that with Tulsi Gabbard. See, Tulsi Gabbard is the most unique candidate because she brings kind of a military toughness to her progressive ideas. And she brings a common sense approach to things like climate change, where she talks about clean air. Even if you're a skeptic, you could, she's talking about clean air, clean water. Who's going to be against those things? And that's how you sort of initiate, baptize people who may be a little less enthusiastic because they think the government's going to take everything over. And that's not true. We just need to transition from one type of economy to another. So the talk of impeachment and Tulsi Gabbard's resistance to it, it's another reason I love Tulsi Gabbard. Again, Tulsi will listen. I'm sure she's going to listen to the inquiry, and she's going to make a decision, I think, based on the evidence. She has already come out and said she doesn't support it. But again, if somebody came forward and crafted a real substantive articles of impeachment against Donald Trump, it would have to do with corruption in his own family, particularly his son-in-law and his daughter Ivanka, and the fact that he is staging military coups, and he's also allowing, I hate to say it like this, but he just allows the military-industrial complex and the deep state to say, okay, Iran, you're in trouble. And Trump, he looks the other way, or he says, this one we can do. We can't do the other ones that you guys wanted to do. That's why Venezuela is kind of like over. But we've already done enough crap down in Venezuela. And if you wanted to craft articles of impeachment based around the war crime stuff, which I think is real, and our government's been doing it forever, and every administration, you could have impeached Obama, you could have easily impeached George W. Bush, I don't know about Clinton, maybe. The point is, all of these guys do these covert operations using CIA and using all of these assets, and the American people, we don't know anything. We just wink and nod and say, yeah, July 4th, our military's great. Memorial Day. Okay, Memorial Day should be a time to reflect about the things that we've done and how we've used brave men and women to do those things, and we need to change those policies. And this is all based on the idea that Tulsi Gabbard has that we should have a government that serves the people, for, of, and by the people. And unless you're impeaching Donald Trump on substantive things that he's done that have gone against the Constitution, then you don't have a case. And your end game, again, is going to be Mike Pence. And let's just be honest. As a recovering conservative, Mike Pence scares the crap out of me. All right? And Trump scares me, but Trump's instincts are to push back against the military-industrial complex a little bit. A little bit. He does it out in the open, and he's slightly more interested in not going to war than pretty much everybody in our government right now, other than Tulsi Gabbard and maybe Justin Amash. Ron Paul is not in our government anymore. I'm just trying to think of the anti-war voices, and there literally are none. That's why I consider the Green Party every day. All right? And, I may not match up on all of their platform, but they're anti-war to the core. And anyway, this is a rabbit trail, and I don't think we should go down it. And it looks like we're going to go down it. And you know what? Who benefits the most from this? The media industrial complex, CNN, MSNBC. They're loving this. They're ramp up that coverage. Everybody's going to be talking about this. This is the biggest news story in years, and now we're going to be on it, and we're going into an election. I mean, and a lot of the American people are going to get sucked into this in their daily lives. By the way, I feel sorry for you Trump supporters, because you people love Trump, and he's going to get sucked into this, and your lives are going to be miserable now. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I was there, and I don't think this guy should be impeached based on this. I already laid out how he could be impeached, and this is not what they're doing. They're taking leads from Tom Steyer, who, guarantee you, watch him rise in the polls. Watch Tom Steyer, a guy, he's got so much money, and he's such an unknown, and he's the MSNBC candidate, all right? And watch him rise in the polls, and watch Tulsi Gabbard, watch them all gang up on her in the debate when she talks about how she doesn't think impeachment is a good idea. It's going to be breathless coverage day and night of this escapade, which, quite honestly, again, here's one more take on this. The issues we all care about, those will go in the background. In the foreground is going to be all of this nonsense, all of this Mueller, collusion, Russian, make-believe charges, and we're all just going to sit here, and a lot of us are going to tune out. The rest of you, I'm sure, are going to eat popcorn. You're going to think this is the greatest thing you've ever seen. Good, let's get rid of Trump. I'm not against getting rid of Trump, but you've got to look at why you're getting rid of Trump and what the end game is. And the timing of this, he's already had, if you're worried about issues, Trump's had like 3 years already to do what he's done. And then you're going to put in Pence, and it's mind-boggling how stupid that is. It just really is. All right. I'm done. Aloha. Tulsi's in the debate. That's awesome. I'm hoping that she tosses a few Molotov cocktails on that stage. Because if she doesn't, it's going to be a short-lived bump. Because the criteria just got a little harder for November. And I think Tulsi could still rise in the polls. But if you got guys buying their way into these debates, it's going to make it tough. It just is. Her voice, she is a lone voice in the wilderness here. And a voice of reason. And we need more of that in our politics. And instead, the country seems like it just wants a food fight. And they want to see people waking up in the morning terrified that their government is falling apart. Because impeachment looks like that to most people. Most apolitical people see that as like third world banana republic stuff. All right? It's supposed to be used as a very last resort for true high crimes and misdemeanors. All right. I'm done. See you soon.